Greetings, YouTube. In my last screen recording, we talked about my John Muir Trail version A and B for the trip. And I created a second version, so you can call this version 3 really. And that takes in account the topography of the trail system. And the idea is to do bigger miles so that you can sleep lower every night. And we'll see what that looks like. So this is a screenshot of this would be going north if you read left to right, or going from right to left, it would be going south on the trail. And I've circled these low spots, and which is 8,000 feet. It's on the bottom of this bar graph. And up here is 12,000 feet. This actually isn't the whole trail. We only have 160-ish miles of it. But it's enough to just get the idea of what we're talking about here. And that's to, I've circled these low spots if there were a diurnal here, between the valleys between the passes. And that's where we want to camp. We'll pop into Google Earth Pro real quick and overlay the John Muir Trail. Here's Yosemite Valley. And we can further visualize this a little bit better if we do show our elevation profile. This shows us going down from Nevada Falls at 6,000 feet. But if we start, we'll be coming up. There's that first segment. So we look at the second segment. And this is the continuation of the climb to Cloud's Rest, even higher. So if you're starting on southbound, you're climbing quite a bit the first day. Now if you're ending from a northbound trip, you got this glorious descent. These are going to be very easy miles. So here we go, another 5-mile segment, all climbing up to 9,000 feet. And this gets us over to the Cathedral Lakes area. Tuolumne Meadows. Pop over into Lyle Canyon. And we can see the route, takes the low ground where it can into Lyle Canyon before popping back over these passes. I'm going to zoom pretty far out here. And basically these areas that are below tree line is where I'd ideally be camping. This would be a resupply by this lake area. You can send a resupply box there. Okay, so that's the general idea. I'm going to keep this pretty high level and pop over back into the spreadsheet. Here we go. So day 1, this is Yosemite. Start elevation 4,000 feet, end elevation 8,000 feet, total miles 25. In column G, we have a time hiking per day at 3 miles per hour. So this is kind of what I would consider a fast walk, but not quite a slow trail run. And then when we look at our daylight hour length in July, it's right at it's right around 14 hours a day, which is great. It's a ton of time for hiking. So you'd still have like 5.6 hours of non-moving time where it'd still be daylight. In general, psychologically, it's just a lot easier to hike in the daylight than it is at the dark. Okay, and then we have our total mileage counter here that just adds up the total miles from the days previous. So day 1, Happy Isle to Rafferty Creek, camping at just under 9,000 feet. Day 2 is a big mile day, another big mile day. All these first 3 days are big mile days. Gets us to Devil's Postpile. And the end elevation is just under 8,000 feet, so that's a sleep low. Day 4, ending at Mono Creek Bridge, same elevation as the day before, but another 31-mile day. And so these are like, 10-hour days on trail. Day 4, sorry, that was day 4. Or this is day 4, the last one was day 3. The Blaney Meadows Trail, 8,000 feet, 21 miles. Same with day 5. So those are lower mile days for sure, with a nice balance between night and day light hour, or daytime hiking hours versus daylight non-hiking hours. Day 6, we're back into the high mileage, which is 30. Day 7, 25. Day 8, 31. Full disclosure, 31 miles is just under 50 kilometers, and that's an ultra marathon, and that's the furthest I've really run in a day. And I haven't done much. I've never done back-to-back 30-mile days, so I don't know if this is possible for me. We'll find out. Nonetheless, this is the itinerary where it stands, and if there's one thing you take away from this video, it's that there's a lot of ways to plan an itinerary for a backpacking trip, and if you're in a mountainous area where there's a lot of up and down, topography is something you want to keep in mind. That has to do with sleep elevation and just your gains and losses as well. I didn't get too deep into that in this video, and these 31-mile days are going to have very big gains and losses, so that's going to factor into the fatigue as well, in addition to the miles. So perhaps I'll update that in a future video, and you'll get to see what the gains and losses per day are over these planned segments, and we can consider that as a factor too for the trip. Well, that's all I have for you today. Greetings, YouTube. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, Hikes, Bikes, and Other Stuff. Once I reach 1,000 subscribers, I will donate $1,000 to the Santa Cruz Mountains Trail Stewardship. It's an environmental nonprofit that's really cool and does a lot of work in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Thanks for your consideration. We'll see you around.